Alright. Last game of the season, let's enjoy. We are playing against Joonaf, who's someone we've played before. And in celebration of the last season, we're going to have a little bit of a drinky drink along the way. 1 second. There we go. Very nice. Oh, okay. The automatic bath is almost finished being filled up. Are you ready? Let's have ourselves a game, shall we? Alright, let's enjoy. Come by. So we are playing Joonaf. We played them once before, quite some time ago. I think I'm gonna get back into Zen mode here. A Dutch. Definitely not what I expected. That is a surprise. Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't prep anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead here. So I've played Joonaf before, and it was a closed Catalan, and maybe they're not looking forward to that kind of game again. So yeah, let's just continue on our way. A Dutch, no less. Wow, I'm so surprised. Alright, we're gonna play the Catalan anyway. We're gonna play the Fianchetto attack, I think it's called. Not because I know it especially well, but it's oh, there we go. Bath is ready. Very nice. One of the small nice things about setups in Japan is that the bath is connected to the what we do call it, like the gas controls all around the house. Anyway, so I prepared a bath for the wife, and maybe I'll enjoy it later as well. And it's just said that it's complete. So dearest wife, please get to your bath at some point, yeah, before it gets cold. Okay, let's have a look here quickly, 1 sec. Okay, she's passed out. She had a nice start to a nap. Okay, okay. Bishop e7. I don't really think I have too much to think about until we get further in. Yep, I've got this move at some point if I want it, but probably just this. There's also this kind of idea with the knight, which isn't all bad, but maybe I'll just get on the long diagonal while I can. Let's see. Anyone who is watching already, you'll notice that there's a big yellow banner. I'm very happy that we've had some subscribers over the past couple of months. We only started again on YouTube, I think, in start of December. So it's been about 2 months, and the sub count has steadily been growing, so super happy about that. Which exact content is really what people like is still a bit of a bizarre one. But I think league coverage and my own games have been fairly popular, so I'm happy about that. Is this a Stonewall Dutch? Okay. Okay, so I guess the idea is that you want to jump in here. You've got 3 defenders on this. I've got 3 attackers, but I also have this, so I wonder if I could win this pawn actually. If I try to. I don't know. I don't really know if I want to be honest. I could do something with this. I could do nothing with it. I could defend my pawn. A little umeshu, the celebration drink for the seasons last week. I guess you can see that Choya 50 here. Look at this tiny, tiny one. Yeah, for the alcoholic on the go. You know, when you need a tiny one in your bag or something, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway. And inside it they actually have a ume as well, a plum. So you get the, I added some soda water, but you get a nice little thing you can chew on as well. Stonewall Dutch, I don't really remember. I have a feeling like I can win this pawn, take it, and then you've got two defenders, I've got two attackers, and I can take out one of your defenders, so you have to play here, but I think you do. I actually remember facing a Stonewall Dutch a while back, and it's frustrating, no lies. They end up jumping in here, and then I think my knight ends up doing like this, but the point being I can never really take. I always just have to like play f3 to kick them off. Alternatively, I just get in here and just, you know, everyone gets a square. Alright, so if I jump directly and they take, do I care? If I take, they take back, and the bishop comes out a bit more, they can pressure down this file. You know, I can clearly just play e3 though at some point, so I shouldn't be too troubled by that. If I play e3, maybe I want to get my bishop out first though. I wonder. What if I put my bishop here, and then after they play c6, I just take the knight? And then they have to go over. It's not like they lose anything massive, but if I'm gonna play here, maybe I'm happy to do that. There's also ways I can try and trade off on the long diagonal. What to do? What to do? Alright, so I can ignore it. I can take. I can develop my dark square bishop. That's really all the moves that I think make sense. Check doesn't really. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead. If they take, we get into kind of classic stuff with, you know, knight e3 maybe, hitting there, hitting the square, and so on. So I don't think, I'm expecting them just to castle. I don't think taking the pawn really matters that much for them. Yeah, c6 I expect. So this is a Stonewall Dutch, I guess. I played one last season or 2 seasons ago. I remember it roughly, but I think actually that game I kind of won based on a blunder from my opponent, not because I was playing especially well. So maybe we can improve a little bit this time. Okay, well, anyway, they've put up the stone wall, fair enough. We're gonna castle, just get the king safe. And this is kind of the point that I regretted last week. I prepped a lot, and then we played a line that I wasn't so comfortable with. And at the end of the day, I was actually quite unhappy with the fact that I played what I felt was kind of suboptimal chess. Not as good as I could, because I was trying to, you know, complicate and do various things, which I don't think was necessary in the end, to be honest. If I go here, they can push me. I can run back, I can go in here, I guess. If I go in here, if they've already castled, then I don't really have much to go for. They can come hunt me down. So maybe I do this, but I don't quite play e3 yet. I also eventually think I play knight fd2, maybe. Actually a little bit unsure. I don't quite remember how to play this, so since that's the case, maybe I should just try trade off my Darkspear bishops along. I don't really care if they take here, so if I take with the F pawn, if I jump here and I push F3, what happens then? Otherwise I jump over, if they come out, maybe I say, no trade, and I just put myself over here. If they take, where do I go then? Here I'm pressuring this pawn. Who's taking this pawn for me then? A little bit unsure. They don't have a lot of space though, so I think I don't really want to give them multiple, trades, and then they've got more ways to take and things. So let them sit on their position a bit. See if they really enjoy it that much. Yeah. Which one do I prefer? Maybe just here. Just get the queen out. We're trying to play a little bit more simple chess. As I said last week, because I prepped, I felt kind of a need when we played suddenly a line that I wasn't expecting to still try and play like the most optimal, theory lines and whatnot, and that was a massive mistake. I should have just played some natural moves and got in a safe position and had a game. So this week, on top of kind of being a bit busy, I just didn't really prep anything. I did look quickly at our last game, and then I thought, oh, maybe it's a close Catalan. But as it turns out, it's been a bit of a surprise. We're not playing a Catalan at all, we're playing a Stonewall Dutch. I don't think I wonder if my opponent actually plays the Dutch a lot, or if they were kind of preparing this a little bit for today. I'm not sure. I did win last time, so maybe for them they wanted to, change things up a bit, get a different game going. Okay, they're also taking their time a bit. I actually think what I might end up doing, if I have no clear plan, I might play knight bd2, fd2, and then I might play f3 e4 and just kind of force the middle open. It'll just depend a little bit on where everything is. Obviously with the Dutch, black is looking to play down this file, so they'd be happy to take this way, get this kind of structure if I take again. So both these times they take this way and they build up this long diagonal pawn blockade against my like square bishop. But if I play f3 and e4, that's a lot of pressure on the center. I can take twice on this side, for instance, take, and then everyone's got isolated pawns. I can take on the f-file if they don't. Umishu is a lot of sugar, and it's actually really easy to make yourself at home. I have some friends who used to make some for themselves. These big plastic containers. Alcohol, a lot of sugar, a lot of plums. And then they basically just leave it. And every, I don't know how long, they just go stir it a little bit or something. And I used to work at a sake brewery who also had some kind of back in the day umeshu products. that they used to make. So I drank some seriously fortified, seriously old stuff. Because no one else really wanted it. They were kind of like, oh, we can throw this away at this point. We're not selling it. We don't need this. These bottles are old. And me being the foreigner was like, whoa, no, 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 no. We're going to try these. I ended up drinking the whole one slowly but surely over time. It was really, really nice. Maybe not the healthiest, but it was really good. Mm. So there are ways this can go, right? I was actually just thinking now about this pawn structure like this. Obviously, a good thing for me would be to try and break it down. Given that I have my fianchettoed bishop, if I can get these pawns to open up the diagonal, it's good for me. So what I could do is I could play like a... Well, maybe I need to put my bishop over, my knight over, my rook over first. And then I can play something like b4, b5. If I do this, I wonder what they will do. They might end up playing g5 at some point, actually. I was just looking because they maybe want to play f4, but f4 currently just drops the pawn. Doesn't do much. So maybe they want to play g4 first to support f4. Although in that case I can actually just close up as well. Then they come in again. Could be dangerous. So I wonder if in that case if I should maybe play h4 already. And if they play g4, just, you know, just take once. That's okay. Now that we've both castled, it's not such a dangerous thing. If they do play here, I can always just kind of pop over across. Take once, I'm still okay. This is a good square for me to keep. Even if I have to take at some point, I think it might be not the worst. But I'm kind of liking this idea now, actually. Just trying to take the game to them on the other side of the board. It's a little bit tricky to do, though. When I say tricky, it means I have to prepare it with one move, either here or here. I think both kind of give away what I want to do. If this is the case, I think I actually just close up, because then when I push, that's actually not too bad. I wonder if they would risk this, given that they actually castled into it as well. I can always just put here, but as said, if they play it, then I don't know, do I take the knight? I'm a little bit unsure if I want to give away my dark square bishop. So this is a square you can put it on, but then once they push, you have to take anyway. So if I do this and they do this, then the problems still happen. So alternatively, I was trying to look at it a little bit earlier, but there's always the move like this, and you just trade off the dark square bishop down the diagonal. Just say thank you very much, dark square bishop's off, because black is the one that's put all these open dark squares around their king, right? So that's pretty good. Apparently I've got some people in the chat. Hello everyone in the chat. I'm playing today, so I'm not watching. But obviously enjoy yourself. If you've got any comments, please share. You'll see my note. If you haven't subbed yet, please sub. I'm 3 short of 200. It will be a super nice milestone to hit. Now that we're back. We've been back on YouTube for basically 2 months-ish. What's the date today? The 26th. Almost 2 months. And steadily seen that number climb. So it's been really validating. Yeah, I guess validating. It's just been really fun to see something, you know, seeing the number go up, whatever the number is. I've always been a enjoy the number kind of guy. The other point I can do is I can also just fianchetto and then just make a plan later on. But I'm really liking this idea. If they take, I can always still come in here, but I don't think they want to. I think they want to do the classic Dutch situation here. So if I go here, they prep. If they play g4, what do I do? My attack is slower than theirs, but their attack is bananas. Bananas. So I don't think they're going to move this pawn anytime soon, though. Actually, what I could do is, if I do this and they play their pawn down, I could take their knight then, and then give them this file. But I don't really think this pawn over here is such a worry. And then they don't have f4 anymore, which is kind of the main point of what I'm looking at here. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and open up the game from the queen side. Clearly that's the general way I've designed my game here. And we'll leave it for black to tell us if they've got some faster ideas. And I actually really want to take a bath as well. I don't know where everyone else is, or even how many people there are, if any. But here in Japan, it's gotten a lot colder again tonight. So I'm in Osaka, so I'm kind of in the center, but obviously it's winter. But even in winter, we've had some really, really nice days. I'm on the kind of like a higher floor. My building, our apartment faces south, as you hope to when you're in the northern hemisphere. So even in winter, we get some really nice sunlight during the day, and it heats up the living room and kind of open plan kitchen situation that we have here very nicely. But tonight has been cold. I went walking to buy some stuff, and it was it was seriously cold outside. I think this week's going to be quite icy. I saw some really nice photos from friends who went off to the ski slopes as well. Sorry, I'm calculating again while I'm talking. I'm wondering if they play this if I play e3, but then f4 comes in, and basically, I have to wait for them to take, because if I take, then they take again, and basically I'm just opening up my king. But I guess even with f4, I don't have to take anything. I could do nothing. I could just progress my plan. Basically, I'm trying to get to the c pawn on this side. And the reason for that is because the c pawn sits behind the d pawn, and the d pawn is the main thing that's supporting this knight in the middle, because the f pawn might be used as part of the attack. So if I can get these guys, I can take the first one, but then it just gets supported. So I need to take out the pawn in the back, and if I can, pretty good for me. Pretty good for me, I think. The other thing that you'll see is, because the Stonewall requires a lot of pawn movements, black is a little bit behind in development. I guess if they go here, that's basically equalist again. But their light square bishop is completely stuck and out of the game. So unless they've got a very, very clear attack coming that they can win with, I actually don't think I'm in massive danger. I think I can play a little bit slower, which would be good. That would be good. Oh, yesterday I was doing some coverage for the league, and one person I covered, it's one of the games I caught just kind of like the first half of, unfortunately. They wrote in, what's the notation when you say like king 5 and king knight 3 and stuff like that? I don't actually know what the name of the notation is. Goodness me, it was hard to figure out, because that also doesn't say specifically like whose move it is. You have to read, okay, hang on, this is going to be black's move, and so from black's perspective, king knight is here, versus white's perspective, king knight is here. So yeah, at first when I was trying to cover the game, I was so lost. I had no idea what they were trying to say in the chat, because they were whispering a lot. So that was a learning. I was very, very confused. Yeah, but it was nice. It was interesting to try and read a different kind of notation again. It was good stuff. Always something new to learn. I've actually seen this last season, as I've been covering the different games, I've been checking who I've played against before, and I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess it's good for them. A lot of the people who I used to play, I don't know, 2, 3 years ago and beat are now 150 points higher rated than me and so on. So I feel a little bit like maybe I should just sit down and play some chess on my classical account here, just to like get the rating up a bit again. Because I think for the last how many years I've only played classical games on League Chess when it's league games. So it's completely a reflection of my league performance, um, which could be good, could be bad, I don't know. But I do think like, oh no, I used to beat this guy, now they're like 2000 and I'm 18 something right now. Like, ugh. Obviously I'm falling behind. But we all have different priorities. Looks like Black's also not too sure what to do. I wonder how far we're into their theory. One second, let me just get rid of this. Last chance. Choya. Japanese ume fruit liqueur. 14% alcohol. That's a little bit more intense than wine. Quite delicious. Now we've only got the carbonated water left, so let's enjoy that as well. I did hear that the next season was going to start pretty soon after the current one, so maybe we won't have too long to wait. But considering my personal situation, I was actually wondering if I should put myself in as an alternate instead, or even not play too much, just do some coverage, because the coverage is really fun, right? I get to watch so many games, and often I send the link to the people I covered afterwards, and so I can chat with them a bit about their game. Oh, this was really interesting, I enjoyed that, tough one on that move and whatnot. So yeah, it's been quite fun for me because I get to have a little bit more interaction with other people in the community, which is real good, because normally you tend to talk to whoever's in general or some other channel and your teammates. But with the coverage, I've been talking to just a lot of people I have never even seen before. I don't know who this person is, or people I've just never had a reason to talk to. Like, I've seen their name around the community on Slack for a long time, but just never had a reason to chat with them directly. So that's been quite fun. A nice little bonus based on the general coverage. Alright, it looks like, okay, hello. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they are going for the coverage. So what this does for me that I thought might be nice is it gives me a potential way to go out here. So I can take ones in here. I can put my queen up and try and put some pressure here. I can put my queen up and then try and get my knight over here to hit the rook, which might be fun. What to do? If I push, obviously, things aren't looking too good. They've got two defenders on that, and eventually my rook in the corner hangs. So I think if I want to push, I kind of got to put my bishop out first. Put my bishop out, and then take a crack at it. Where should I put my knight to defend it? I actually do, because you do want to... Oh, actually, what I could do, I could drop my knight back this way, and then I can push. And then I can take with the pawn, or with the knight, actually. I don't know, do I care about having my knight on this square? Not as such. Probably I want to trade off and get my b pawn on this square. Here, pawn's there. And then I'm looking to push, because I'm trying to break open the queen side. I wonder if this is a good time to try trade off that knight. Yeah, so here's the general plan is, oh, shibalsies, I can do this and I can push. And then the knight can't be taken. And I've got two two pieces, well, a pawn and a piece supporting the b4 pawn, so once they take, I can take with my a pawn. And I actually still have my queen covering this square, my bishop covering this square, and my rook and my queen defending the knight on this side. Just looking to see, oh wait, hang on, my pawn is here, so it's covering the a5 square, so the queen can't come out and double up against me. It's always good to know. I can also just move my rook and then push. Here, oops, sorry, here, and then take. So I give them the file in that case though, which is not so nice. But my rook is well placed to keep on pressing forward, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here. I don't know if I really want to give them the file though. I wouldn't even mind just kind of trading rooks on the file as long as I'm the one with the rook down here, because I'm trying to point out the fact that they've got less space with the way that they've developed. And because of that, it's harder for them to be able to really like launch a clear attack without, you know, classic Dutch style, pushing their kingside pawns. Alright, so it's rook over or it's knight over. Knight over feels a bit fancy and maybe a bit dangerous. What I could also do is I could just play this first here, just get my bishop on the... Oh, I can also do this. Actually, I can push once, and I can actually just kind of force them to trade off. This does leave that square weak forever though, and this knight can maybe jump into it, so it's not exactly ideal. Oh yeah, and as soon as I do this, they'll see it and they can jump. Even as I come up, they can block it off. That's not the best. How to do? I could always push c5, and that allows me to cement my knight in there. And the only way for them to stop me is to put their own knight over here, which blocks in their light square bishop completely. Another option is just to close off and then push. You know, because then if they take... But I need my rooks connected for that. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like I want to keep this tension. On the off chance they take, I think it might be good for me. I don't know, this feels like the right way to do it, but I'm not a fan of giving them the file. How much does it matter? Take with my pawn, take with my knight, I guess. Yeah. Here, because if they take, then I take this way, and then I take here, and I've just kind of crushed open there. Okay, so maybe this is the way. I give them the A file, but I get my BC file action going, and hopefully I crack open the game in a way that helps me rather than them. Here. Now I can take this pawn. In that case, maybe I really want to put my dark square bishop on the f4 square looking down here. You can't hear it, but I'm hearing like a massive rumbling. But there were no clouds. Okay, I'm gonna play this move. I'm preparing to break. I don't think they can stop me. No, they can't, because if they play here... Let me just check outside. Alright, I've absolutely no idea what that was. Probably doesn't matter. Let's just enjoy. Let's just enjoy. Actually, what it might have been is, so in apartments, in hotels, in many places where the bathroom is not very big, specifically the shower. So you normally have kind of like a little room, and half the floor is just shower, and the other half is the bath. And that entire little room is molded out of plastic that kind of like fits together. So to allow for the plumbing that has to go underneath the floor and the bath and the stuff not to have like cracks where like mold can form, because obviously we've got very humid summers. The whole thing is just made of plastic basically, and so because it's hollow, if you drag something or knock on the bath sides and stuff, it kind of reverberates a little bit in there. So I said I heard kind of like a rumbling, but maybe my wife's just like dragging a little, like there's like a little chair you can sit on in the bath if you want, if in the shower, if you want to like sit and wash yourself instead of standing. Maybe she was just like dragging that around inside or something. Let's assume that, because otherwise I have absolutely no idea. Yeah. Let's just think that's probably a thing. Anyway. Alright, so black did, I think, a very kind of standard natural way to answer a side pawn move. If I go 1 square, you go 2. If I go 2 squares, you go 1. And I forgot the reason for that, but I still remember that's kind of a thing. I did have a look here quickly, but hang on, can't I now just push the pawn and then kind of stop me from pushing because they take en passant, but I still have both my knight and my queen on it, so I wonder if they might even like take my knight now to try and, here, so if they take for instance and then they push, okay, then my queenside break is basically dead. I might push just to break it apart, but if they take, I could also take with my b pawn, because at the very least that allows me to break with c twice. So I guess it'll depend on how much they value this knight they have in the middle. They can jump the other knight over there, but if you trade one off, you're only going to have one more to try and take the spot with, and I can always then change my plan to just breaking in the center. So at the very least I don't think black can completely ruin my dreams. Let's see. Yeah, alright, so quick recap of how the game got to here, because I always feel that's kind of fun to have a look at. d4, f5. Black played something I didn't even consider they might play, but I didn't prep at all, so not like I lost any time or sleep because of this. I'm just kind of doing my own thing. This one, there's multiple ways they can play. I've always thought this is kind of the G6 fianchetto style, is a bit more kind of like the standard, but maybe E6 is the standard, I'm not really sure. I played someone in my Kyoto tournament, what did I call it? The Diffusing the British Dutch, because she was Japanese Dutch mixed heritage, and she played she was British Japanese mix, and she played a Dutch against me, and she basically immediately played bishop e4, and when I just continued with like knight f3, she just took my knight, like unprovoked, nothing. And apparently that was because she just wanted to get control of this square immediately. The game ended in a draw, I think. Yeah, the last bit was a massive time scramble. She had an exchange and a pawn up on me, I think, but I had a knight and a queen, like circling her king, so I kept thinking there must be a way to checkmate her, and it turned out to be maybe not true. It was really fun though. That was a very fun game. And also one of the most popular videos I uploaded from the tournaments. I don't know, maybe other people also thought that a Dutch is a fun game to look at. Anyway, so I'm going just for the fianchetto. This is basically a Catalan, right? I'm just doing these 3 pawn movements anyway. I'm fianchettoing, I'm knight c3, so This is almost just playing it like a system, and I'm doing that on purpose because I've never really had a good idea of what to do against the Dutch, for instance. So I just play the Fianchetto attack. I'm not even really attacking. I'm just like, play a structure I'm kind of aware of, and familiar with. Okay, and here we see the Stonewall Dutch forming. I think black can go other ways. I guess I don't think they would play this here, but they can go with either of these pawns first and play the other one later on. Anyways, I just develop c6. Yes, all good. I don't want to take that, and here I decided I'm going to try break on the queen side. I don't want to take that knight in the middle. That's kind of the ways that you can make a mistake in the Dutch, I think, on the white side, because as soon as you do, you give them a really, really nice central pawn just sitting here, and you open up the f-file for them. And black basically wants to try and get all their pieces coming over to this side of the board, right? So that's why I don't take here, because then they open up here. I don't take here, because then they open up here. Black would love it if those two pawns moved in here, and they can just have this massive structure, completely blunting my light square bishop. And actually, because I was thinking about the structure, that's where I was like, oh, you know what, how about I just break on the queen side? So I don't know if this is theory, but it seems kind of like a thematic way to play against this general setup. The Stonewall Dutch seems like an interesting game. I always thought in the Stonewall Dutch opening, where black is moving their pawns so much, I specifically remember in the last league game I played as well, I was kind of like, don't I just like have a move here? They're moving all their pawns the whole time. Can't I just like take something and open up the center? But unfortunately not. The only thing that I maybe can do is I can abuse the fact that they are opening up their king a little bit on this side, but I think the way to do that is to play the bishop up and then h4, 5, so that's way back. I had to make that decision a while ago and I didn't. So we're just going to play a game. And I'm going to repeat myself again, but I feel like I need to remember this. I played some fun games this season, and some of them I prepped a little bit, some of them I didn't prep so much. Last week I played against the Dundee one, and I prepped actually a fair bit, looking at like different ways that they could play, because I was expecting kind of like what they played. I was expecting a open Catalan of sorts, but they played a line I don't know, and because I had prepped, I felt I had this kind of like expectation. That's the word I was missing earlier. I had an expectation of myself that I would be able to play, kind of like the top line theory or like something good like that, even though I didn't actually remember the line at all. And I spent so much time trying to figure out the best move, and I could have just castled. I could have just been like, okay, well, they take a pawn and now they're threatening something, but I can just castle and then, go on. So I'm really unhappy that I complicated my game with, like overthinking, trying to find this amazing best move. Look, I win pawns, and then I actually won too many pawns, and I got myself immediately losing. I think it was like -5 or something. It was really bad. So yeah, I'm not too unhappy to be playing against an opening I'm not super familiar with, because I wasn't prepping anyway. And I figure after the first X moves, both of us are just kind of playing a game, so don't want to stress too much about playing the exact right position. Yeah, that was my long spiel about why I didn't do so much prep. And actually, last season, I did a lot of propagate. No. Okay, whatever. I tried to sell the idea of doing like a low prep approach to the league games. The point that I had was I don't want to have to keep on prepping a lot. I thought that maybe I could just prep a little bit and just play a game of chess, like we're not theory masters here. And I did pretty okay for last season, I think. I think I started at like 1900 and I ended at 1900, so that's probably fine, right? That's probably an okay season. Okay, knight a6. Okay, so black is still very much keen to stop me from getting this in. So currently they've got 3 defenders and I've only got 2. Three defenders of the square, and I've only got 2. So if I push, take, they can take with their knight or something. It's not going to be fun. Um, Dawn, eh? I can add another one. I can put my knight back and kind of force it. Um, Actually, maybe that's just what I should do. I mean, I can always try this, but I feel like they might at that point actually just take my dark square bishop, and I'm not so keen to keep their bishop on the board with mine off, because these squares are all kind of, you know, dark square problems, and if they're the only one with the dark square bishop, they're doing pretty well. So I'm not so keen for that. I'm still looking at this. I can just kind of pivot, so you know, just don't move the pawn. I can close things up. I can try and get onto this square here. Um, the rook still has some places to run to, so there's no big win as such. However, I do also know that I said this earlier when I was thinking about this. If I close things off with c5, they don't have that defender of the square. So if I do this and I press, then they can take once, but I'm coming through and I'm breaking through. The only difference is then I have no pressure on the d pawn. I only have pressure over here. So this kind of structure remains, and I want to be able to take everything and just kind of crack open. I don't want to leave them with this middle section here. That feels not so good. So I'm still not a fan of this. Um, yes, I mean I can still do my plan here. Just knight a2, just forcing. This knight can't go anywhere. If I knight a2, if I knight a2 and they push forward, I mean I can just take that pawn. And if they jump the knight somewhere, then what? Then they can take this knight and I'd cry. Oh, no, no, hang on. They can't jump their knight because the rook isn't defended. So it wouldn't matter. I can take, and they'd have to move their light square bishop first. I can drop back, and then I have this if I want it. Yeah. What else? Because the knight's here, I can kind of be unopposed in the center of the board, which is nice. You know, no big worries there. It's nice to have a centralized knight, even though it's not actually hitting anything useful just yet. But I also don't have to jump in right away. I guess, I don't know, if they want to take my knight with the bishop, I'd be pretty happy. I think that'd be a great trade for me. Yeah, any problems with this? This knight can't go anywhere. You know, if they take, I can take back, and they won't, because that kind of helps me. Opens up the file a bit more. I get pressure on this back pawn. If I go here and then I push and we take. What's my threat there? Just pushing B. And once they take, then I don't have this anymore. I want this knight to be here to take back. Well, I can take with the rook, I guess. Once they take, I can always take this way then. Because then my knight kind of, you know, then there's some action down the file, so then it kind of makes sense. Otherwise I just have to do this. But then I'm really only playing against this pawn. Like this, then I'm playing against this pawn only. Not against this pawn, which is kind of what I was hoping to do as well. I can develop my dark square bishop, and if they take, I can lose it, but then they don't have a centralized knight, which is kind of the main stonewall advantage. I can go and break down the center a little bit if I want to. I don't know, what's black gonna do if I just do nothing? Are they coming at me? I wonder. Otherwise I should just get my... I mean, if they push G, then I don't know. I basically have to run back anyway, and they can keep on pushing me. I'm not a fan of that. Just not moving this bishop, but I feel like at some point I'm gonna have to. I can always just one step, small step. Push, take. I think like c5 might actually be like the move. I just don't like letting the tension go. I feel like that's something I need to keep black thinking about. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm just gonna go with my move. We're not gonna overthink it. I don't think the game is that fast that I'm gonna have some massive issue immediately. If I go wrong, I can still jump back. For black to have an attack on my king, they'll still have to do a bit of work as well. So probably there's no immediate danger on that side. Oh, hang on. Apologies, I just realized that my light wasn't on. Maybe I've been sitting in the dark. Where's my camera? I'm doing okay. It's not that dark. Alright. Okay. Alright, checking my camera, I saw my screen. And on my screen there is a massive yellow banner. So I think it's as good a time as any to point that out. We got back on YouTube. So the history of this channel, I started this when I came to Japan, actually just before I came to Japan in 2017, because I watched a lot of going to Japan on the jet program videos, and I ran out of content really quickly because there actually wasn't that much on the specific topic, and so I actually just started making my own videos about the same thing. I'm going to Japan on jet program, I'm wondering what it's going to be like, I'm thinking about all these things. So that was really a really fun time. Sorry, actually in my head now as I'm saying, I'm like, maybe I should play c5. Maybe that was the move. I didn't like it, but maybe that was the way to go. I mean, I can still play it now. Maybe c5 is just the correct way to go. Anyway, so I used to make videos about traveling around Japan basically. Also just like, I think I did some updates like the first year I did a few updates like, I just arrived, this is what's going on, I'm like, I've been here for 3 months now, it's fucking crazy what's going on. And then I kind of changed it to mostly just travel. So when I was going to places that was really fun, I would make some short videos about that. That was really enjoyable. I specifically remember doing some really fun road trips around Kyushu, which is the westernmost island of the main Japan section. Anyway, so then last year I played that French CM candidate master. CM, maybe he's an IM. Did I make a mistake? His FIDE rating was 2300. So maybe he's a CM. Anyway, and I saw him doing all his recordings, and that was really fun. Kind of got me, oh, maybe I should try it again, because I've been thinking about doing YouTube again at some point. My wife always mentioned, hey, why don't we just do YouTube again? So I was kind of excited to try it again, and so I did. So that tournament was end of November. I think my first video was probably, I don't know, 3rd of December or something like that, start of December last year. And so now it's been almost not quite 2 months, and we've gone up steadily. A little subscriber here and there every week or so. So massive long roundabout to get back to the yellow part at the top. We are, as of the start of playing this game, we had 197 subs on the channel. It would be super amazing to get to 200 to close off this season, not specifically with wins on the board, but with kind of progress of the YouTube channel. So if you're watching, if you're not subbed, if you like either my own games or the commentary based on all the other games in the league that we do sometimes, or you want to see some of the Japan content, I'm working on something else there as well that I think would be quite fun. please drop us a sub and help me validate my small 200 sub goal within the season, basically. Or maybe within the month. I guess that's within the month is probably acceptable as well. But it'd be nice to be able to finish it off today with the last game. And that's why I decided to put the massive yellow banner. Well, massive. That's why I put the yellow banner in the chat, in the screen. Wow, that was a long, long explanation about a very easy point. But I guess you don't come here for the easy points, right? You come here for the explanations. So that's what the explanation for that was. Um, Another thing I noticed is that if they do take, this pawn might be under pressure at some point. So if, for instance, they put their bishop over here or something, then I might actually just play e3 myself and just keep that pawn safe. Or I might even just close off just to avoid the pawn dropping in a kind of inopportune moment where I lose control of the center of the board, because I'm basically trying to show black, hey look, you moved a million pawns and this is going to be your problems because of it. But if they kind of swap up strategies, take here, take this middle pawn, then all of a sudden they're opening up the board, but I'm not feeling very comfortable at all because I just took the pressure off that knight, for instance, right? So if this pawn moves, I can't take the knight and take the pawn anymore, which would have been nice. Yeah. So that was the long and short of that. And now we have to see what black feels like doing. I did ask them if they want to do a post-mortem afterwards. They said that maybe it's not quite their thing to be chatting on stream, so they might just do some text commentary and the analysis. So after the game is over, we'll get to the analysis screen and just have a quick look what the engine says or what like the general theory might have been for the first few moves. And maybe there's a few comments there from our opponent as well. And I also just want to maybe just check through the chat if anyone had some comments or questions or whatnot. I'd like to respond to those before we end the stream. It's always fun. Yeah, that's the plan. All right, come on, black, you can do it. Make a great move. Do something interesting. Make a plan. Or, yeah, actually, I gotta say, I think if I go back a little bit, so up to here, this is basically a Stonewall Dutch, right? So nothing really strange. And since then, again, I've been white, I've been the one playing on the queen side, and black's been responding to me in the last two moves with a5, knight a6. And I wonder if they're just not quite clear on what their plan could be. I mean, I'm sure they've seen a video where someone... Oh, hello! As we talk about it. Okay, so they are opening up the middle. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look. I did look at this line very briefly. I thought take, and if they go here, I guess I could take here, but then... I don't know, I'm hitting this rook, I'm also hitting this pawn and this knight, but my queen's also just like way up the board, which might be dangerous. This also stops me here, I guess, because they'll just take en passant. So I think I have to take here. After I take, yeah, this knight can't exactly go anywhere that's dangerous. So I might even just take and then just bring my knight back, because with this I no longer have to worry about the Stonewall formation. And so I can now kind of pivot back to, you know, just trying to take out the center of the board a bit. Wow, do I even have to go directly for it? I can go knight e5 in this case, potentially. Just drop this. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. So I'm sitting next to the kitchen, so you might hear a little bit of tonight's dinner happening. But that is the cost of being in the very nice warm room with the comfortable chairs and tables and the stronger internet connection, which is my main problem half the time here. Okay. How do I like this because it also threatens to take here, but it does drop my pawn, which is a little bit of a concern. After it dropped my pawn, what could I do? I could, oh, but this knight would also be hanging, so I would go here, they take, I have to take here then in this case. So maybe I don't love this move so much then. Before I saw knight e5, I also thought about just putting the knight back on c3, because I also have knight e5 later. I don't have to take with my queen. I think I might actually play... I'm scared they go there, then I have to do this, but then my bishop is kind of the wrong location. Oh, I guess after I take here, I'd be able to fianchetto as well, which might be good, so I could still play e3 and find another way for my dark square bishop to get out of the game. I've also got some nice pressure on this pawn over here, so I wonder if maybe there's a version of this where I fianchetto and I don't know, I bring my knight back, and then after they take, I push. Oh no, but then they can just put their... I guess I could jump in this way. Maybe I don't like this pushing idea so much. Alright, should I just take the pawn then, I guess? I've successfully kind of forced black to abandon their stonewall structure. Seems good. Doesn't seem too bad. The thing about this I also don't like is after they push, I guess I take with my g-pawn. So I'm trying to keep the structure together. This is actually a move I know about. You can do this. This sometimes happens in this case where they take with something and then you take back and you play e3 afterwards. Yeah, do I take the pawn or not? Is there anything I want to do in between? I can go here, and after they play I can do this. The pawn's protected. I'm threatening this backwards pawn. I'm also threatening to take the knight, although it's not kind of my ideal to take the knight with my bishop. It's not exactly the way I'd want to trade it off. Okay, so maybe I just take the pawn. I don't think there's any immediate danger here. I bring my knight over again, and we take it from there. If I take and they attack this pawn, I can still defend it. And I still have all of these squares kind of covered, so I don't have any immediate scary tactic things happening. If they push here, if they push there, I might actually push past. No, because they can take with their queen. I guess I'd have to take and let their bishop come over here. But then I can also kind of jump my knight or something. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit not what I expected, but I think this is maybe the right reaction for black after I jump my knight over here, because they can't stop me anymore. And it may be for this reason I had to play c5, just to completely block off. But this can't be all bad. Getting them to kind of let go of their structure in the center surely isn't the worst. Can anything go anywhere that I'm scared of? No, not really. This pawn is pinned, by the way. I wonder if I can kind of like... Nope, not really. I wonder if I could do something. I might want to play this at some point as well. If I play this in this position, I take here... Maybe they double up. Take... Yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna reroute their dark square bishop to this diagonal anyway. So maybe I want to keep this pawn and just play e3 eventually, or even my bishop up here, because it can go back and forth. Okay, let's take the pawn. There we go. Let's see if black can find a good continuation. Oh, yeah, in hindsight, hindsight, I wouldn't say my hindsight is 20/20 in chess, but maybe c5 was just the move. Okay, they've already played their move. Oh, queen out. I see, forcing the trade because my knight is sitting there, my queen is unprotected. I can do this and take back with my knight. Does that help me? If I take this way, I don't know, then they've got kind of a structure, I've got a structure, it's a game. I can defend with my pawn as well. Maybe they push here. Then I would take and push past, I guess. I see. I like this move. This kind of backwards move often catches people off guard. If they take with their knight, I take their queen, they take my queen, I take their knight with my... So here, 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 here. So it's also still, it's trading these pieces, right? But, it's trading these pieces, what I'm saying. But it doesn't give them the light square movement, which I think they're looking for here. I could still start with this first. Just see if they want to do anything else. Maybe they do push, I take, and then I push up. And then I can still fianchetto afterwards. If I want to. But maybe actually then I'm going to go over here because they're going to take this way. Yeah. Yeah, and I want to keep this pawn here, stopping the knight from coming in too far. At least for now. And after this, I could always still push and just try and crack open the queen side. Yeah. Nicely done, Black. I think you found a good continuation. I could also play here. They take, I take. Does that help me? Maybe they develop their light square bishop. I hit the rook and the light square bishop. It protects. I don't really know that helped me too much. I can hit the light square bishop this way. I can... Oh, hang on. Here, they take, I take. They go here. I go up. I'm obviously threatening this. But then once they... Oh no, because the rooks... the knight's also covering the square there. Yeah, and this is also protected still, so there's no big worries about my pawn dropping. So... yeah, they don't have that. There we go. Alright, nice one, Black. Clearly, knight a2 was the wrong move. c5 was better. But let's continue the game and see what happens. This does lower my chance of getting the knight back here without my bishop, right? So, gotta be aware of what I'm giving away here. But if they would take, I would be quite happy to have CD4 on the board. That'd be pretty good for me, I think. But now I'm gonna have to fianchetto to be able to pop the knight out. Unless I do this first, and I just force them because they have... Oh, okay, you know, this might actually be the way to go now. This knight can't be protected by a second pawn, right? So actually now my knight FD2 hitting it makes more sense because it's combined with the bishop. And so they have to take me because otherwise I just win the pawn. And then when they take, I can take with my bishop. Then I can jump my knight out. I'm going to move the A pawn in that case. Many things to consider. The board is so big and yet so small. Everything is interconnected. Is that a right word? I think it's a pretty good one. Alright. Black a little bit surprised, I guess, by b3. I'm sure they realize that the pawn is weak, but it's not in serious trouble. And I think a fianchetto for me is going to be pretty good overall. This also does solve my problem with the knight, right? So if they don't take, if they do something else that isn't this, I guess even if they do that, I can probably just drop back. If they take, I can take with my rook. Then I still have this jump here. But I don't really want to trade this off, this is bad. So if they go here, I think I'm going to take and then play b4. And fair enough. Black got me a tiny bit, didn't they? I was actually thinking of coming back to the content of the YouTube thing quickly. I was thinking of doing just kind of like a bunch of videos about kind of like my favorite restaurants or chains around Japan. The kind of stuff that you would see if you came here. I thought it might be kind of enjoyable. I'm expecting a5 because it's a really obvious move. If they play a6, a4, sorry, I'm saying. If they play b5, I think again I kind of have to take. Or do I? If they play b5, maybe I just drop back. They've got pressure on all the pawns, but they're all defended. I've got this coming in, hitting them both. Yeah, I think this would be a good move for them, but I think it's not quite fast enough, because if I can get my queen out of this silly situation I put it in, I think I'll be doing kind of okay again. I think so. b3 also probably not the best move, but it does give me this choice of, depending on how they play, I could just get my queen out of the spot. I can hit this. I can hit this in this way. Actually, yeah, I guess this might even be stronger because I pin the knight to the queen. They can take this pawn. I can then hit them on the cross as well. We will see. I'm expecting one of these. Maybe take, but I don't think they're going to take. I'm expecting it's one of these moves. Yeah. Maybe knight back. Try and recycle it here. Here, then the queen has to move. Then I hit the knight twice. Maybe I fianchetto first to defend the pawn. Or I can even just do this to like open up the attack on the queen, get the file for myself. Oh, this is an interesting position. Very, very interesting. So I think the bathroom might be calling me. Maybe I need to take a second. Maybe I need to take a second while Black is thinking. So, give me 2 secs. I will be right back. Alright, we're back. And hang on, we've got stuff on our face. We've got egg on our face. Let's take it off. No egg on the face. Let's go. Okay, they did take our queen. This is kind of unavoidable. We have to take back. Otherwise, we are just mega ultra super losing. Alright. Interesting position. So what do I see? They've got pressure on our A pawn. We have pressure on their B pawn. This knight's a bit out of place. So, oh, interesting. C5. I can play up to try and get some yeah, I can play up. Maybe they take. The point being that they've got some good pawns over on this side. So I don't know if I take. Opens up their dark square bishop there. I still have this square, but I don't know how to use it. They still have a slightly bad bishop, but also not sure what to do with that yet. This might be a good time to fianchetto as well. If they take, I just get my... Oh no, but my A pawn is going to be weak, isn't it? So if I take, then they just have these three pawns kind of staring down at me. It's kind of dangerous, isn't it? So maybe E3 is the move here. Maybe E3 is the move here, just to take back if we need to. Oh, they are playing super nice. I think they have made some really good moves here. I can also just let them take, I guess. Actually, that might be even better, because I get potentially this square for my knight. Here. I don't think I super mind them taking. It's 2v2 in that case, so maybe I can do something better with my time. What could I do better with my time? I still have to try and get this knight out of the way, so maybe here's the move for me at this point. They take, I take, they take. Everything on this file is getting taken out, right? So maybe I take, they take, and then I can take here actually. And both my rooks are connected. I'm hitting this and this and this. They would have to take back maybe, don't they? Otherwise I would take an exchange. Oh, maybe they defend this way. Where's my dark square bishop in that case? Over here. And that's a lot of fun, but then I don't know, I win a pawn. They've also got an extra pawn over here staring down the board. Alright, what was this line I was looking at? I was here. I was this one. Here, take, take. They take. I also don't have to take here. I can just do this directly. And then... Darn, eh? They're going to put their rook over there. Trying to see how I can connect my dark square bishop with the situation, but it's kind of difficult. Otherwise I just take immediately and do this. Difficult to know how to do this. If I jump and they don't take, then I could probably just win this pawn. But I need my dark square bishop to move as well. Can't have it sitting around forever. The other thing with this is they're probably going to take back with their knight, aren't they? Getting it into the game. Maybe I want to play this anyway in that case. Just stop them from coming in. Take, take. I'm still covering the C square. They bring out their light square bishop. take that pawn if they do, so they have to defend or push it or something first. Yeah, I'm liking this one big time. Anything I'm missing? Not that I see. I'm liking this a lot now. I could also go back here if I really want to. But I think my dark square bishop will find a way out eventually anyway. Especially because I'm still planning to play this maybe. I could also put my rook over here, just add some pressure to the situation. If I let them take my dark square bishop, I'd have pressure on this pawn. They'd have to defend it again, I guess. I can bring my other knight out. Backwards, okay, they're finding new ways to get their knight out. And I wonder if this is the time for me to jump in now. If they go here, I can trade them off and take this pawn. Man, I wonder. Otherwise, maybe this is the time to do here, and then I take this way. And then, because after they go here, where would they go? More pressure on this middle one, I guess. Unsure. Very unsure. The thing is, my rooks are currently like very beautifully connected in terms of a fork, so I don't want to make a complete mess of the situation, you know? I could always do this, just to get my knight out this way, take back if I have to, here, or I could just go for it right now. This might actually be the way to go. I am liking it somewhat. This feels good, but I don't know, I feel like I still need to take care of this knight rather. After they jump here, what? Take, win a pawn? Probably they defend it? Defend the pawn before they jump? This feels very good. And if they jump out of the way, I still get this, which I think will be a kind of crucial pawn to win. And then I also have to move my dark square bishop out of the way. Otherwise, I have to do this here, but then I can't protect this pawn, they can attack it, and it's kind of a problem. Here, to put this knight over. I can take now, and I can put my other rook over here. I think I'm going to do this rather. Just not sure what to do if they jump out of the way. Do I go here? If they jump out of the way, I guess I bring my other knight in so long. Take here. These knights can jump back and defend the pawns. Let's do it! Let's see what black thinks of this move. A good one or not? Black hasn't moved these ones, and they've put the knight back where it started. But I've also never moved my dark square bishop, so you know, give or take. Oh, I do also realize that if they jump the knight out of the way, I could actually push. I could push and kind of like, I don't know, I can push here and then push here. I can kind of just melt the center a little bit more. The only thing is I don't want this pawn to go anywhere because I need to contain their queenside pawns. My additional pawn is here, but theirs is here. My a pawn is disconnected from anything else, so a little bit dangerous. They take, I take. If they attack, I mean, my threat is just to take here and then win the pawn. And if they win a pawn there, I guess I could kind of like hit the knight. And they have to defend it, and I can bring my... oh no, wait, where would my... well, my knight's dead in that case, never mind. Take once and push a little bit first, and then take maybe. So because then my bishop's defending this forward pawn. I can jump and defend it with this knight as well. This knight also stops the b pawn from jumping in then, which is good. At least for the meantime. Options, options. We will have to see. We will have to see what happens. I think yeah, if they play an in-between move, I'm just going to take the knight first. Like if they attack this pawn and take it, I'm going to take the knight first, and after they attack back, I'm going to take here because it would be really good for me to just isolate these pawns in the middle. This one's going to be hard for them to defend immediately. Actually, impossible basically. So I don't have to take it right away. And then I can defend these pawns. Because I have a dark square bishop, I could also just kind of, if they ever took, I can just put it straight into e3 and just defend for a while I figure out what I want to do with it. So let's see. Let's see. Is this a good time to remind everyone about my yellow banner? If you or your friends are not subscribed to this channel, do so now. Help me reach 200 so I can validate my own existence. But the joke aside, it's been really fun. It's been nice to see the subscribers slowly tick up. So, if you feel like it, please do join. I promise not to make absolute rubbish, unless you think this is rubbish, in which case this whole channel is a piling steaming peel. Anyway, we'll see, we'll see. Black, we're getting down the wire. We're using our time, big time. I'm expecting them to take my knight. I don't really think there's really an in-between move that's worth playing for them. The only other option might be to jump backwards, attack this, defend this. But I'd be really happy just to get my other knight back into the game. This is a really lovely spot for me to go to. After I'm here, I can actually push up and then this, because then even if they take, you know, I can always just do this or this, and it's going to be a single pawn that comes through, so it should be pretty safe. Maybe even taking first and then taking back, just so it's kind of 2-2 stuck on this side of the board. Should be pretty okay for me, given that I'm the one with the fianchettoed bishop looking at that side. Just my feeling anyway. That is my feeling. Oh, not exactly the same time there for a second. I'm actually very impressed with black. Or maybe I've just become a bit weaker. I don't actually remember exactly how our last game ended. I know I won, but I mean, they found moves that I didn't consider to be too good. My inaccuracy, I don't think it's a blunder, with knight a2, and then they took, and I thought I would just take back with the queen, and then they kind of skewered, forced the trade. So I thought that was pretty good. Nicely done. Oh, they do take, okay. Yep, just going to take that back. Alright, so centralized knight is finally off the board and not a problem. Now, this pawn is in trouble, and I also want to bring my other knight back into the game. This b square looks absolutely delicious, but I could also go over to the f square. I could even go backwards if I thought this was worthwhile. So go back on the e5 square. But I really like the idea of blocking up the queen side this way, because my isolated pawn is pretty safe in that case, unless they put their knight on this square here, so we'll have to see. But right now they have to figure out what to do with this pawn. It's once defended, they can defend it twice, and then I can go attack. I can put my rook here, my knight here, and that hits the rook. But it does cut off one of the attackers, so maybe the rook moves. Oh, they take again, okay. Anything in between I want to do? I did consider taking here. The dark space hacking I have to take back, but I like the hanging pawns over here as well. I think it gives me some potential control, and I think they're looking at this. If I take back and they jump their knight out, if I take here and they move their rook, and then I take here and they take, then I could still take back, but they're also hitting this pawn. This pawn is, you know, forever weak right now, so maybe I just have to do this. And then I have to figure out, once they attack it, do I want to push? I think not too bad, to be honest. I'll have an isolated queen's pawn on the 5th rank, but it's also an extension of my light square bishop, which is pretty nice. They can take this pawn here. What to do, what to do? Otherwise I just take the pawn. Take the pawn and just drop back. Just be like, alright, thanks. Thanks for all the fish. They take another one, another one. I'm actually down quite a lot of pawns at that point. So that's a little bit uncomfortable. I don't want to be down all the pawns on the board. That's kind of scary. This pawn. And there's no real attack there, so I need to get my rook out. Okay, we're going to take the hanging pawns. We're going to take the hanging pawns, and we will figure out how we want to... I guess I could also at this point trade the knight and then play even c5, just blocking off my weak pawn. Their a pawn is also isolated, and I've got the b file to kind of come in on. Maybe I want to bring my knight over, get my dark square bishop. This might be a way to go. One of many. I guess for them the question is now, is this worth taking right now? I wonder, if they take it and I stop them from escaping, they've got this square I can take. They can attack my backwards pawn here, which, to do what I'm doing here, I have to kind of defend. Which way do I have to defend? I guess either way is kind of okay, actually. Here, And if they go, I can take... This might be a good way to go actually, because I would get rid of the A pawn, my A pawn, and I would have these hanging pawns over here, isolated B pawn to be attacking. So anyway, I would have the A pawn. Yeah, they take the A pawn, I go up, trapping the dark square bishop. You know, I've got all these squares covers that it could try to run to. They maybe come out to try and attack my backwards pawn. I can defend it in some way. Maybe here. And then my threat is still to come take it, so they'll eventually just have to trade it. Trade. Here I fall back. Or maybe I even just trade off the pawns completely. Yeah, and then I've got this, and these pawns are off the board. Ooh, I really like that. I wonder if I've made any massive mistakes while thinking that through. But let's see if they take it. If they do, should I just immediately play c5, like, scare? Surprise! Maybe the speed of the move would make them feel very, very stressed out. Okay, the other point being that, like we was discussing, they could just attack my backwards pawn here. But actually, if I want to transition into the previous situation I was looking at, then I would just play here. And then I would still hope they take this. And if they don't, what then? Try kick the knight. They take once. Try kick the knight again. And then once it moves, I also need to bring this rook out. I also need to get this knight going somewhere. So if they do this and I play and they don't take the pawn, then I'm a little bit unsure. Because then I've taken my knight square, which is not ideal. I mean, I guess if they come here, I can also just trade, and it's 2v1, and I've got this passer in the center. I'm going to try and push through. I force them to move their knight once, somewhere. There's no square here that's like a massive worry for me, I guess. But I'd probably want to get my other rook over here, and also get my dark square bishop somewhere else. Ooh. I think black is really, really stressing about if they can take this pawn or not. They're using quite a lot of time. Maybe they're considering it. Shall you take the pawn? Is it a trap? It wasn't. It was just a continuation from the moves we played, but if you do take it, I think I have a surprise for you. I mean, it could also be a draw and then. All the fancy strategies we played, and just a draw. I guess the other point is here, I could also just be like, alright, cool, thank you, I'll take this pawn. If you trade me, fantastic. You know, you've got an isolated A pawn that's a passer. I've got the C pawn that's a passer, and it's actually next to a D pawn, so I can then still push forward, still like try and defend the backwards pawn, bring my other rook out. So I like the fanciness of my plan, but I don't have to get fancy, I guess. I could also just chill out. Okay, they do go for just knight straight. Okay, so this plan, I don't want to take the square from my knight on a2, which is just such a stupid knight at this point, but so if I do it this way, if they take, I block, I'm still covering everything, but after they go back here, I don't have enough attackers, so I can take, and I've gotten rid of their knight, but they still kind of hold the situation over me. So maybe I should do this and just hope they take. And if they don't, otherwise I just take now. Isolate their pawns. Actually, this might be pretty good actually. I take now to isolate the pawns and then I push c5. It's not good for my dark square bishop behind these, but then they still have these light, specifically this one. It's a light squared pawn. My pawn is stopping them. They'll be pushing here next. Nah, it doesn't work out. I don't have the right kind of... I can't push past. Otherwise, I just push now. They take, probably. Where else would they go if they don't take? Here, I don't think it matters. If you attack the backwards pawn, it just gives me a chance to move this out. I think. Jump in here. Chase each other around in circles for a while. So take here. You have to jump the knight. And then I can basically trade off. I can push here, so they have to take, and I take here, but they'll still have this at the end. It's not nice. So if I do this, and they don't take the pawn, what's my plan then? If I do this and they don't take the pawn, do I recycle my knight this way? It disconnects my rooks though, it's kind of dangerous. Sure. I thought this was nice. But they have... Otherwise, maybe after this I don't push anything. I just go here. Then they're probably just going to play c5 again. Everyone's got passed pawns and isolated pawns and confusion on the pawns. Any other moves that would be fun to consider in this situation? Not so much. Everyone takes something. I'm kind of leaning towards this now actually. Just trying to support these two. They still can't move this pawn really. They can move this one, but I don't think they want to. They like controlling the square, and same for me, I don't want to. So after this, what do they do? Okay, let's ask them. After this, what do you do? If you attack it again, I can defend it again. If you go here, I can also push and just trade off and get my knight out of this stupid position it's been in the whole time. Might be good. Okay, and the long plan from this originally was still that they eventually take this pawn, and then I lock in the bishop and try and prove that was a mistake. Yeah, because I would get this pawn for this pawn, and then they've got an isolated B pawn, and I've got these guys. My wife is not feeling so great. Hoi 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 hoi. Come on guys. Alright Black, 4 minutes. I've set a potential trap. I'm a little bit unsure if it's a real trap or not. So, do you want to try for it or not? I mean, I guess I could push, but eventually they just have a way to try and attack the pawn, right? And I can't really defend it. My light square bishop is all about this long diagonal, so... yeah. If I trade it all for like the knight, if I don't get anything great from it, maybe it's not a good trade, you know? Go here, but then they break with the e-pawn, so maybe after this, I have to play f up first, just to stop this. And then when they play, I go up, and then I've got these guys. Oh, this is starting to look fun. Okay. I mean, now they're probably going to take the a pawn, and I have to go back to the original plan. Oh, okay. They really don't want to take this pawn. Okay. Okay, but that's a mistake, because now you've given me finally a reason to take your knight, because your rook is undefended. Oh, okay. I was really hoping they'd take this pawn and we can see if my fancy trap works or not. But I think I just take the knight here. Yeah, there isn't really much to think about. That is unfortunate. Unless there's a different trick somewhere in there I didn't see. I think that's just a piece. Tough. Tough one, tough one, tough one. Okay, assuming this was actually just a blunder, I again want to say, I don't remember this opponent being this difficult to beat, so maybe I've gotten worse, but I have a feeling that everyone in the league has just improved, and that's super nice to see. I like the fact that we can all kind of clearly kind of show that we've improved, so that's good stuff. And every time after like a season game, I feel like, oh, I wanna play again. I don't want to wait a week. And then if I lose, I'm like, oh, screw this. I don't want to play chess. So it's a lot of emotions, right? But overall, we keep coming back because it is a lot of fun. It is a good time, and we do enjoy ourselves. By the way, if anyone's still watching, 3 subs is what we need to get to 200. This Ompree knight is at least worth 1.5, shall I say? I mean, a knight is worth 3 points, so I'm discounting it here. 1.5 subs. Can we get 1.5 subs? We can't. How do we do that? Okay. That's going to be tough for black. I don't think there's anything behind this. I think they just hung their rook by accident. Or their knight by accident. That's a tough one. I don't even think my move was that good. This was just an oversight by them not connecting their pieces. Yeah, they had to defend the pawn sideways, but they really wanted to push it, I guess. Tough. Alright, but time is still ticking. Black hasn't given up, which is something I also massively approve of. I mean, if you think about it this way, my a2 knight is doing nothing. So this is still basically an equal game. I don't know if it's actually going to be part of the game again at some point, because it's really doing just nothing right now. I actually wonder if they, for instance, now decide they want to take this pawn, could I just spring the same trap again? Because basically I was trying to trade off their bishop for my knight. And then if they eventually decide, okay, hang on, screw it, I'm just gonna, you know, like move the light square bishop out, or, I don't know, push the pawn. Because that is something they can do, right? Yeah, I wonder. If they take here, I'm still gonna try and play this plan. This one. Or maybe they see it, that's why. I'm focusing so much on this potential poison pawn situation, but maybe they saw this like 10 minutes ago and that's why they're not playing it. Oh, maybe I should have played the bishop takes knight a bit slower. I was literally saying over here, like, I don't want to take this knight unless it's for something, because otherwise I think it's just a bad trade for me. Oh, okay, they're breaking. Um, I don't think that really matters, to be honest. I could probably just pull my bishop back now. I can even push, to be honest. I don't think there's a big reason for it. Um, okay, this I'm still keeping this in the hope that this plan will work. So can I move anything else? Alright, how about I move my king up? And then if they take, I take back, no worries. Oh, actually, I see it. They take, if I take this way, they can take here. And if I take with my rook, my bishop hangs. So I have to take with my king in this situation. Okay, but I can just play a waiting move. And I can also just take with my h-pawn. I don't have to take the other way. Uh, I'm still looking for like something fancy. But it's probably fine just to do this. And if they push, I can take here. I mean, it might even be worth playing up and then taking here and then letting them play this kind of last chance and then just taking with my king. You know, there's just nothing here. So, tough one. Yeah, don't think there's much. I mean, I can pull my bishop back as well, I guess. Don't think there's much wrong with any of these moves at this point. Maybe I'll just do this. You know, why complicate things? There's no reason to leave it hanging for the fun. I could just pull it back and that should be acceptable as well. Alright. That also unfortunately kind of unfangs Black's plan because now even if I take with my other rook it doesn't mean that much. This pawn is still hanging though, so I am going to take with my king because I still want to try and in some way I would love to try and trap their bishop so I can take it with the knight and then I would be taking the a-pawn at the same time, I think. Alright, under a minute. Black in some serious time pressure at this point. That's real tough. I can even imagine like they're watching and then they're like, oh, okay, hang on, I shouldn't take too long. I should just make a move that's okay, right? Just make a move. And then like, just make a move, you blunder. I've had that happen so many times. You take way too long thinking about all your plans and all your fancy moves and then you just kind of like hang your situation. I also just realized there's a big problem with what I just played. If they play this, I have to put my bishop like out here or back here. This is so silly. It's not losing, but it's such a sad, it was such a bad move. I should have brought it back here or even just here or something. That was such a, yeah, see, perfect. Now I can't take here because, so I can go here and what? I've basically just like said, okay, cool, thanks for your knight. How about I don't play with a light square bishop? Let's make it equal. That was such a stupid thing to do. Okay, I can come out here. I wonder if they can actually like trap it. Just pushing down until I lose my bishop. So I guess I have to go back. I don't think there's much to it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I gave back a serious freebie. Look at this. A2 knight, H1 bishop. These guys are basically not on the board. And this pawn is still hanging. Come, take the A pawn already. Just take the A pawn. Just play for the A pawn already. Come on. Yeah, I mean maybe they're gonna like lift the rook now or something. I'm probably gonna have to lift the rook as well to try and take care of this silly situation I created. 15 seconds. Maybe they're gonna take the A pawn now. Oh, 10 seconds. Are they gonna take the A pawn? I mean, this was a good move for them. They basically locked out my light square bishop. They should still be playing. Just make a move. Just make... Ooh. Alright, they did make a move. And that allows them to put over. Then actually they hang their front pawn as well. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to try and get a rook out to solve this super stupid situation I just made. Also, this don't push pressure on their e-pawn, so if they move the light square bishop onto the outer diagonals, I get this pawn. So, not all bad, right? Oh, but they hung another pawn. Hang on, I didn't realize. I could take this pawn now. I could still take this pawn because it's not defended by this. The rook is still hanging back there. Oh man. Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't take a second to look. It would have been kind of fun to win a piece and a pawn on the same pin. Oh, I still can. Okay. So I'm just going to take here because your rook is still not connected, so this pawn is still hanging. Maybe they're just going to take here and I'll like, screw it, I'm taking your pawn finally. I think I might take with my rook then, to be honest. Happy just to get some more pieces off the board. Get my knight back in the game. I can finally put it... Oh, hello, okay. Unexpected. I can do this though. And I can take with... Oof, what should I take with? Knight? Hmm. I can take and hang the pawn, or I can like... I can go here and they take... And then I guess I take with like my knight. And they're very active, but I also get my knight in. Or I can just take with my rook actually. Here, take with the rook. They take here. Nope, that sucks. This knight is terrible, it needs to go somewhere. Yeah, I think I'm going to trade off the dark square bishop at this point. Seems like the right thing to do. I take here... Oh, hang on, if I take here, I guess they take the pawn, I jump my knight out, which is still protected as well. They hit my knight, that's fine. Trying to slowly crush me, I guess. The fact that I've played such stupid moves. Although with this I also just get a lot of... Take, yeah, I don't really know what's best, to be honest. I like the fact that I can bring both of my pieces out into the game. And they're both on dark squares. The knight is protected, so I can put my bishop over here if I want to. I could also just push and have these pawns just like this. And then the knight can jump over. Yeah, okay, let's just do that. Stop thinking too hard. Oh well, the a-pawn trap never worked, and I'm slowly playing as if I want to lose this game. So let's try and not lose after winning a piece. You know, that seems a bit silly. I have a back rank problem now, right? I have to take care of this pawn, or I have to... I would sack it actually. If they do this, I'm happy to sack just to take it out, because then I can take this out, which means I have another piece in the game, which is pretty important. So I found a way to like almost lose after winning a piece. It's so stupid. Yeah, so well, maybe can I get my knight over here somewhere? Not easily, I need 3 jumps to do that. I guess I could go over here, this way. Oh, they're not even taking pawns, they're here for the kill. Okay, I need to keep... Actually, I might do this then, so I can go here, take that pawn out. If they take, I'm happy. If they push in, I don't know. What if I just push up? If they take, I open up myself anyway. I think this is my move here. If they take the pawn with their rook, we trade it off, and then I can lift. If they take with the bishop, I just take the pawn. I also, again, don't mind trading. Oh, but then they can do this. And everything's hanging, which is not so fun. Maybe I just go here. Not really sure what they're going for, to be honest. I think this is my move. If they take, I actually think that's fine. I don't think that's a big problem for me. I'm currently threatening to just take that pawn out. And if they go here, what to do? Maybe I bring my knight out and I push. I can also take, but I don't want to leave the whole back rank open. I could legit still lose this game if I do something super stupid. So let's try not to do it. I think this would be the good move for them now. Just keeping that pawn safe, taking. Okay, if I take this way, obviously problems. I guess I have to take this way. Also just take like this. This seems fine too. Still threatening the same thing. I don't think the H file is super scary yet. And for them to make an attack happen, they're going to have to give me the time to get this. And once I have this, I think I can survive. I think I can survive. Put this back here. Just keeping everything safe. I can't believe how close I've made this game. Up on black though, they definitely are not giving up and trying hard to keep on playing. Putting threats on the board. Looking for ways to abuse the fact that I'm playing so sloppy. Good stuff. Oh no! Oof. Okay. What was my plan here? Oh, I was just going to start jumping my knight over. Maybe I should jump my knight over this way. If I jump it here, I'm actually taking an attacker away from the square. That or push. Oh, actually, I can go this way, I guess. And if I need to, I can come over here. So this might be a nice way to go. Because I can still threaten it, but I'm not cutting off the attack. Seems good. If they take, I connect my isolated pawn. I am up 2 pawns as well. 2 pawns and technically up a piece. When my knight's bishop is literally as bad as it can get. All it's doing is keeping my king from running. So I guess I could also do this just to be like silly. I could run my king all the way out to be another attacker. That seems a bit unnecessary. That seems a little bit unnecessary. Alright. If anyone is still out there, if you are still watching. Move! Okay, if anyone is still out there, remember that yellow little thing at the top there. Oh, I never actually mentioned the best part. Subs for hugs. Subscribe for hugs. It's a very important message. I hope you take it seriously. Sub for hugs, guys. Important stuff. Yeah, my plan was just to do this. I want to give black a chance to breathe. I appreciate that they're playing on. I don't want them to run out of time, and they've been on basically 0 twice now. It's been very scary. Okay, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move on 5 minutes. Give them a few seconds to breathe. I'm sure the adrenaline must be firing like crazy. Oh, also I realized with this I can bring my bishop back, which would be nice. Alright, here we go in 5 minutes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, exactly 45 seconds. They were literally on 0. Goodness me. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. I actually just lose. As soon as I've got 5 seconds on the clock, it says your flag fell. I'm like, what? I thought I had 5 seconds. Well, yeah, it never works out very well for me. Okay, so wow, now that my knight's there, I don't even mind them taking once. I can still just take. And then I'm hitting everything, and I'm also still stopping them from defending this pawn. This move was even better than I thought it was. Maybe they take here now instead. Here, and then they take here. Yeah, thought so. Yeah, okay, I don't think... Okay, hang on. Give it a second. On 5:30. Everyone breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, see, that's why I never can get to 0, because I just make a mistake immediately. Alright. Yeah. But I can now still take that pawn, and then it's actually pinned to your light square bishop. This is tough. Alternatively, I just do this, and then they've got an extra. That's asking for trouble. Let's just go this way. All right, on 550. Everyone with me? 3, 2, 1. 550. Okay. I do see a nice little in between now, obviously, with the fact that they can take here and that hits my rooks. I might have made a little bit of a silly, but if I take here, that also hits their rook. So, how complicated can you get? You take, you take, I take, and I've got 2 bishops and a rook versus a rook, so still pretty winning. But yeah, goodness me, like literally black is like a move or 2 away from like finding some super nice combination. Every 2 moves I'm kind of in trouble again. Oh my goodness. Oh man. What about my dark square bishop? Is it just going bye-bye? I guess so. Hang on, when did I miss that? Oh, here. I missed that it opens up this... What's it? The 6th rank. Oopsie daisy. Alright. Getting a little bit too relaxed, aren't I? Okay. I mean, they have to take here, surely. Unless they want to, like, do this and then trade everything like that. But that's worse for them, yeah. Just take, that's good. Do I push or do I take? If I take, it's two rooks, but I'm up what, like 3 pawns? And then maybe they try and hit me and we get the queen. Oh, that's getting interesting. Okay, let's do that. But I think I gotta calm down a bit because I'm literally dropping pieces myself now. Yeah, I think I'm actually pretty happy with this. It is isolated on both sides, but I don't know, if 3 extra pawns seems pretty winning, right? And I've got this one which is cutting off their king. I could get over here, maybe we'll get down to like I have 2 extra pawns for them versus their rook v rook. Interesting times. I could also like take, and then I could like hit like this, so they can take my rook, I can take their rook. But at that point I think I'm just down a piece, so that seems a little bit silly. I can go here, so they can't immediately take, because I've got 2 attackers. Oh, I mean, they're hitting my rook anyway. Should I just take the... I can take the isolated pawn like this, but you know, trading off... Up 3 pawns. Gotta be winning, right? unconnected, but seems like it should be good. Okay, they're very ready for it. I don't think I want to play any in-betweeners. Alright, the game is still going. Guys, we are trying to keep the content flowing. Although we want a piece, black has fought hard, and they've converted the piece down into 3 pawns down, which in the late game should still be super losing, but the trick here is I'm probably going to have to sack 1 or 2 of them because they can double up on my pawns, and then I need both rooks to defend it, so I might have to do something like this. And then I need my king to come in, and then eventually it's like, oh hang on, I've got 2 pawns versus their 1, so sure, I might have actually put myself in a position to lose this still if I'm not careful. Very good, attacking all the pawns. If I push past and they go over, then I can fend from the side, but I don't know. I guess I could also just come here, and then maybe we're gonna have all our like rooks lined up on each other, and then I have to run my king in, which I think I can do. I can also defend this way, but then they can hit this pawn, which maybe isn't so good. What if I drop one of my pawns and trade off John, and then... No, but then I'm on the wrong side of the pawn. Oh my goodness. This is crazy stuff. Yeah, so obviously I need my king in, right? This is the main point. So here they're going to move their rook to attack something. If I go here and they move their rook there, they're double attacking, but I can push it forward, right? So that's kind of the main point. So here... Yeah, actually I'm going to be pushing this pawn anyway. And if eventually I trade off this pawn and rook for this rook, I'll still be up 2 pawns versus a rook. So yeah, it seems pretty good, right? If they double attack this pawn, I just defend it for now. Maybe, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good with the trade of pawns. I don't really mind. Let's wait for 5 minutes. I don't really mind that. I'm still up 2 more. I feel like that should still be acceptable. So maybe they're gonna get their king in now. Bring their king in. Bring their king in. Oh man, where was my dark square bishop? I was so looking at this amazing d5 move. I completely missed my dark square bishop is still loose. That was so silly. Alright. Yeah, I mean, they're just going to eventually try and trade off the pawn, right? So, I can push here and then trade and push again, and actually that might just be losing because then I get to this. Oh, hang on, let me do it one more. Maybe it's the same, but yeah, do I push this one? I can also defend it. Nah, that's too fancy. Just push, just push. Alright, let's trade a pawn. I guess you're taking this way. It doesn't really matter, I'm gonna take back, right? So oh, here we go. Okay, they took with the backwards rook. So now I take again on 620. I don't know why I've started to count down my moves to certain numbers. It seems so silly. Alright, and yeah, past pawns, let's push them, right? Okay. And then let's go f4 and run our king over there, I guess. Yeah, happy. And we're gonna move our king up. I can also do this just to stop the king from coming close at all. And eventually if we trade all of this off, My king is, it's a 2v1 pawn endgame, so man, maybe black could find a way to make this a draw still if they were like really careful. Alright, king up time, get that king in the game. Endgame, where's Transu? Transu is endgame. Yeah, of course. Sorry, I have to let go of my property because we need to boil some water. It's tea time. Is it good? There you go. And what did they do? Sorry, I wasn't looking. Okay. King up, yeah, so they're just running over here now, I guess. I have plenty of space to run too, so if we trade everything off on this side of the board and your king is over there, I win. If your king is not over there, I probably still win, right? Anyway, so I just move up. Oh, maybe I allowed them to come in here, so now I'm gonna have to spend a move to kick them out again. Hang on. Yeah, I should have maybe done this instead. But I didn't want them to... Oh, they're gonna do it anyway, aren't they? Okay. Okay, so what, you can hit my... I'm just gonna run back, then you come there, that's fine. So I just... Yeah, I just move my pawns, right? I can go here, but then the king comes in, so I'm just gonna push up my g-pawn first. Wow. This kettle is noisy. It's okay. It's okay, it's okay. Alright, maybe this has gone the full circle. We had blunders, we had reverse blunders, we had unsprung traps, and now we're back all the way down to an endgame rook pawn, and if the way they're playing is going to happen, it's going to be king pawn. Interesting times. So that deserves both subs and hugs. Get in line. I could probably hug about maybe about 20 people legit, like actual hugs, and then I get kind of tired. Maybe that's kind of the limit for me. Actually, I think an interesting thing here from the black side might be something like here, I go back, and they just go back here. I'm like, okay. But then I guess I can play here. Okay. So now I can trade off the last pawn. Now I've got two passes, but then their king is sitting on it. But then I can kick the king here, and then they are in zugzwang. Oh, hey, hang on, this could be really fun. If they push, ah, man, that's not so fun. If they push past, then what do I do? That's not so fun at all. I think I have to do this. They come here, I go back. Or maybe I just do this. Unsure. Or maybe I do a little in-between move. Just kind of say, where do you want to go? You know, nice little zugzwang. Otherwise, I don't know, if they push and I trade off, I guess I'm still winning because they can't stop all the pawns, right? So I'll just slowly push one past and then go here. So maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I just push and they go here, and then I push and their king comes back. And they push and they take with their king. I come up. Nah, then I'm stuck. Alright, let's put a little in-betweener. And if then they push, I can take. Then it's 3v nothing, but everything's isolated and all kinds of silliness. So they're gonna go and try and hit it. I can hit their king. They can come into the back, I guess. Here they have to take one up. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, this seems fun. Let's do this. I had the back in the day when you were trying to like coordinate a king race. So you don't want to like do like millions of like arrows and dots. You just like count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like I did now. Like if I go here and they go here, then I would go like, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, look across. Okay, but maybe we shouldn't be drawing too many arrows because it feels a little bit unfair when it comes to the end game. Try and count with your head, not with your hands. At least I found the end game, the in-between move beforehand. I'm out of drink. I'm out of drink. Oh, nothing you have to worry about. I'll go get myself some tea. No, it's okay. Alright, I'm expecting either this or this. They could also like put themselves in more of a bind just for the mess of it, but I don't think that's really worth it. Yeah, okay, so I can push past, and that means this pawn is still protected, right? But as soon as I do, they can come sideways anyway. That's the same thing though, because then if I go here, they go down, and then I push, and maybe they take my pawn, but then they still have a pawn on the board, which I don't want to see that. So otherwise, I guess I could do this now. They go here, I take, and then they have to take with their king, because if they take with their rook, then I just do the. Oh man, this is actually kind of fun. If I do this and take here, maybe they can't have their king and their rook on this line. So actually they're kind of in trouble here either way. I do this, they have to go backwards anyway, and I go here. They can't take with their rook because I'll just put them in a skewer. And if they take with their king, then I'm up 2 pawns. And I'm running my... Oh, this is very fun. Let's do this instead. I mean, probably everything is winning at this point unless I make a massive mistake. So, like, stalemate them or something. As a streamer, I think I'm supposed to give a massive thank you to my opponent as well for continuing to play on after the situation became kind of bad. I personally very much approve. I think you play on. You play on because you want to fight. You know, I made so many mistakes after I realized I was winning, right? Yeah, they take the right way. Okay, so this is kind of fun now, right? So I'm gonna run my king in, and I'm gonna try cut off their king, and then we're gonna move these pawns up the board. And this is the best king move, right? And if you do anything else, basically, I can check you, I can move in, I can move up. Ah, okay, never mind. To be fair, I mean, there's a point where it's not fun, so GG. Alright, oh, and that means I can get back. Hello, everyone. I can finally see your faces again, your beautiful faces. Did any of you help find subscribers so we can finally get to 200? I really hope so. That was a big aim for tonight. Lots of messages I still have to see though. Thank you very much. I will read those later. For now, let's just get out of Zen mode and get to GG. That was a wild ride. I'm going to pop over to the analysis board quick. No. It was great content and you proved the point. I also blundered, right, and played some bad moves. I totally respect playing on. Going to analysis board. Come mention some comments if you wish. I'm curious about how much you prepped. It was all a surprise for me. Alright, let's go have a look on the analysis board. And now guys, I can actually see your faces again, like I said. Oh man, sorry, did I tell my brother-in-law about your stream? He started playing chess last year, but don't think he joined. Oh no! Anyway, you can tell your brother-in-law not only about the stream, but also about the community. The community we're in is super nice. Really great place to come play some chess. I'm going to move this 3 short of 200 subs. Subs for hugs, guys. I give amazing hugs. Can I ask my wife? Wife, would you approve the fact that I give amazing hugs? Just yes or no? Yes? Okay, she says yes. I give amazing hugs. Sometimes, okay. It comes with the clause. Sometimes it's amazing hugs. Maybe sometimes it's not. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, man, it's nice. It was really. Oh, hang on. It was a really fun way to end the stream. To end the season. I'm quickly gonna have a short kind of like review of the game, and to do that, I'm also just gonna get my phone out so I can see the chat when I get away from the screen. So we'll see. Jay, so I hope to get the same position as last time, but I really wanted to avoid Nims or Indians, so I started with that. Okay, hang on. Nice one, Joonaf. Sorry, I didn't know you were Jay in YouTube. Flippin' fantastic, man. Okay, so I can talk to you here. Okay, so you were trying to get a similar position as last time, but you didn't want to do the Nims or Indians. But hang on, but you get to choose. You get to choose if you want to go into a Nims or Indian. Didn't we have a closed Sicilian last time? I feel a little bit confused now, but anyway, I'm gonna pop over to the analysis board here. Let's have a look and see what it says as well. Good stuff. And hang on, I will actually cool, man. Thank you very much for saying. I will give you a few of my own reactions. Little hearts. There's your love, bro. GG. That was a really fun game. I had a super fun time, including realizing that I was making some silly blunders. Let's have a quick look on the analysis side. Did someone already run the engine? You didn't? Okay. I'll run it, but I actually really want to have a look at the opening book. I'm kind of curious how far we were still playing something that relates to theory, you know? So going to a Dutch, classical. Yeah, so the G3 one is what I'm kind of a bit more familiar with, you know, like here. But I'm not super familiar with any of them, to be honest. Alright, so I didn't play G3 directly. I went knight C3 first. Last time I started D4, knight F6, C4, E6. Yeah. That is how it started. But then I played like knight F3, G3, right? And you played D5. So I don't remember it being a Sicilian. But maybe I missed it. Being a Sicilian, a Nimzo. What am I saying? A Sicilian. Alright, now 3. I played G3 late. Okay, then bishop E4 here is a move. Yeah, basically doing what that opponent did against me in the OTB game, just taking my knight out to have control of the E4 square. Although, as a white player, I never want to take with my knight there because I don't want to give you this pawn structure, right? This is kind of scary. Even if it happened. Yeah, I guess so, man, I guess so. But anyway, you surprised me, but a Stonewall Dutch is pretty solid, right? That's why it's called a Stonewall, after all. Bishop E7, Bishop D2, and no castle, D5 straight away. So we're getting into the knight F. Wow, knight F3 did not score well, at least in this move order. I don't know what I was avoiding. I mean, you basically just wanted to have a new game, right? So I assumed you were just trying to play not the same game as last time. I said so earlier on. 3, okay, so castle and knight F5. So I don't know why this isn't called the Stonewall. I guess the move order is wrong, but this is the Stonewall structure. So that's what you get. Alright, so apparently knight E5 is a move, but I don't know what I get. Knight E5 doesn't do much for me. I'm not going to take twice here. I can play F3, but I don't really see that, like, great. I traded off one of the knights. Did that help me? I don't know. Like this variation, I am not a fan of this. I think this is super not fun for white, so I wasn't going to play that. Alright, you castle. Oh yeah, B3. So I know about this like double Fianchetto situation. Here's probably where I've deviated a bit. A3, yeah, A3 no longer main line. B3. Rook B1 was the other way I could have played it, right? Just B1 and pawn up. But I went A3, A5. Okay, we're running out of like theory now, so I guess this is still me like checking how things work. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was super equal until it wasn't, eh? Yeah, this has happened. Knight A6 has happened as well. C5 was the move. Yeah, so I played Knight A2 and it's an accuracy. But I actually thought that, Jay, I thought your continuation taking the pawn was the right way to play. So apparently yours is also C5 was best. So I thought you really found a great way to kind of come at me after I played this silly move. So I don't know. I wasn't sure if I had to stop b4. I think you did a great job here, by the way. Yeah, I think stopping b4 makes sense because basically you've got a stonewall structure, which I think, I could be wrong. I think means that you kind of eventually on the Dutch want to like find some way to attack. So I was trying to, you know, make a queenside game happen. Yeah, c5 was the move. All right, I played something silly. Great move, queen d5. Really taking the teeth out of my situation. Yeah, correct. So the queen side is where I kind of have a bit of play, right? Because the stone wall kind of blocks up the center of the board, and I'm not going to be pushing my kingside pawns. That's crazy. So yeah, now I lost Mr. Rook. Yeah, your queen side, but it wasn't like you were like losing, right? b3. Thankfully, this isn't apparently an accuracy. Take take. c5 again. Very frustrating. Now you play c5 and I don't. Alright, back. We trade off. I was happy to get this trade off finally. Open up my bishop. I thought that was kind of nice for me. Yeah, take take. Now I've got hanging pawns. And here, I don't know, Joonaf, I had this plan here that if you take my pawn, my a pawn, I was gonna play c5 to lock in your dark square bishop, and I'm obviously gonna threaten to win it here. And I thought that in this position, you know, like, I don't know, maybe you make another move first. I'm just going to make a move, I don't know. Maybe you make another, I don't know. And then I'm going to threaten your dark square bishop, and it's not going to have any squares to go to. So you're going to play here, and I'm going to take it with my knight. And then maybe you trade, and I trade, and this. And I thought this would be super, super good for me. But unfortunately, you never took my a pawn. So that just never happened. Yeah, I was very unhappy about that. Okay, oh, you saw c5. Oh, my genius trap. I kept like waiting for you to take the a pawn and you just never did. Alright, and then, very unfortunate, yeah, just here. Oh, f4 is apparently a good move instead. A4, I think a4 would be a mistake because I would jump my knight out to b4 and just kind of have my knight in the game again. And you would be stuck. So I think not moving the pawn was the right way to go. Unfortunately, you never really had this. You had to play a different way to defend the pawn if you wanted to. So yeah. I also considered like some silly stuff like this, but or here. But I don't know, like this solar pawn just looks kind of stupid. Yeah, so, and then apparently my absolute, yeah, so I saw this, but I saw it too late after I moved. So I gave it away once, but then I played it the next move. I took it, yay. And then I didn't actually realize you would have a nice kind of counter on the file. I completely blocked in my light square bishop. Where? What? I mean, I hung my. Wow, interesting. So, in this position, hanging my dark square bishop means nothing. It's still plus 4.5. Very interesting. bxa3, c5. Then I tried to think of moves that could save the bishop. Ah, yeah. I don't think there were. Or at least I spent a bit of time. I didn't see anything that would really make it worth taking the pawn. It wasn't really like giving you any massive. I don't know. I guess you would get some a file pressure. All right. Anyway, here where I like hung my dark square bishop. Apparently, it's just a fine move. Yeah, I didn't know that. I just hung it by accident. That was just silly. Alright, we trade off. And it's just kind of like plus 4 point something the whole time. And here, yeah, I thought this kind of situation would be good for me because eventually, like, there's gotta be a way for me to win either way, right? Yeah. GG, man. Jay had some scary time moments. Oh my goodness, yes. I actually want to go back to it. There's literally one or two where you had literally 0 seconds and then you had 45, 46, 45.4. So here you had 45.4, so you had zero point 0.4 seconds left before you moved. Amazing. I'm so impressed that you got that move in, Jay. I've never been able to do a move that precise. Yeah, that was intense. GG. Alright, GG. That was really, really fun. So glad you came onto the stream to have a quick chat afterwards, by the way. That's real nice. Thanks again for the game and for letting us schedule around this time as well. Thank you for everyone who came to watch. If anyone hasn't told their own grandmother to sub so we can get those last 3 in to get to 200 to finish off the season and the first 2 months of being back on YouTube. What are you waiting for? Tell her already. Alright, that's it. Joonaf, thanks again for a game. Everyone else who was here, thanks a lot. And I will see you guys next time. End of the season, but not the end of everything else. I'm also trying to prepare a little bit of stuff in the back. I want to do a few more like tournament recaps. Maybe recapping the tournament where I got my first FIDE rating, because that was a really nice one as well. So that didn't really matter. Yeah, finally BXA3 is the best move when I blundered. Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't even consider the fact that that might be a move that you have to go for. But I did actually think after the blunder, I was like, oh, maybe now you just take the pawn because you're frustrated. And you still didn't. So I never got to play the trap. But you saw it anyway, so never mind. Yeah, alright, GG everyone. Thanks again for watching. For the last few who are still sticking around, I appreciate it very much. And I'll chat you guys again. So yeah, that's it. Be safe, take care. Tell your grandmother to sub. Ciao, ciao.